Hello, it's been a while since I last made a video, and I believe the last video I made, I promised that I would be reviewing Heart of Glass by Werner Herzog, but I think I'm actually going to change that. Actually, I am going to change that. As you should see from the title of this video, I'm actually going to talk about all of Herzog's movies a little bit and rank them while I'm at that. So in the description I put my ranking, just in case you just wanted to see the ranking and you didn't want to hear the reviews, but I'll be trying to give a brief review of all of them as I rank them. So if you just are interested in my ranking, it's in the description. If you want to hear my reviews, you can listen to them. Also in the description, you can skip to which review you want to hear. So let's get started. So number 17, starting from the bottom of the list. Before I start, I what this movie is probably the performance of that guy over there. I tried to look up how to pronounce his last name, and to no avail, so I figured I'd better not pronounce it, because it's better to not pronounce a name badly than to, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, apparently people who like climbing films about climbing say that this film is quite good, because apparently there's not that many good climbing films, which makes sense. But so honestly, I'd only recommend this movie for people who want to see a decent climbing film, if they're interested in that, and Werner Herzog completists like me, who want to watch everything that is available to see from him. So number 16, Invincible. This one is it's not bad. Like I said, none of these films are actually bad in my opinion, but it's just one of the films that, when I think of Werner Herzog, this is one of the last films that I think of when I think Werner Herzog. It's kind of forgettable. It's about a strong man who's actually played by a real-life strong man who is not an actor. And this is actually a thing that happens a lot in Herzog films. He often recruits people who are not actors to play parts. Sometimes it's very effective, sometimes it's not so effective. In this film, I don't think it's as effective. His acting is wooden, but I guess it is effective because that's kind of how you would expect the character to behave like. Anyways, it's a Jewish strongman who ends up going into, it's based on true events, but like all Herzog films, the true events are kind of skewed. So if you ever watch a Herzog film based on true events, I'd recommend looking up what those actual events are, because Herzog takes lots of dramatic liberties, what I was gonna say before I got cut off, because I'm running out of space on my phone all the time because I have so many weird movies on my phone, so I'm always bargaining with space, trying to transfer them off of my phone, transfer them back onto my phone. Anyways, so Invincible is about a Jewish strongman who ends up doing his strongman show dressed up as an Aryan for mystic club of Nazis. And one memorable scene is where the audience actually gets hypnotized by a certain character. And if you relax and listen to the character, you can get you into a trance. It won't make you do anything, but anyways, so, well, hypnotism doesn't make you do anything out of that's not in your own will to begin with. But as I was saying, it's a good movie. I wouldn't recommend it for starting out with Herzog. But yeah, it's one of his. It's a good film by Herzog. It's a very moving story. Number 15, where the green ants dream.
The green one can never come back again.
This one is also a moving story by Herzog, but in a way, I feel like this movie is more real than Invincible. And that's why I put it above it, because both of them are movies that, like I said, when I think of Herzog, I don't really think of them a lot. But this is a moving story that feels as if it was almost a documentary. It has this very realistic feel to it. And it has a very bleak, as Herzog describes it himself, ending that brings in the realism even more. And what it is about is it's about the oppression of Aboriginals in Australia. And another thing about Herzog, a major theme, is that he likes to explore different cultures, and he likes to add this cultural color into his film, and he does that nicely here with the didgeridoo and all these other Anyways, number 14, The Wild Blue Yonder. Often people consider this film to be Herzog's worst film, and I actually did a full review on this, so you should really check this out. It's an interesting experiment in storytelling, and it begs the question about what filmmaking actually is, because pretty much what this movie does, it takes stock footage and puts it together and makes a story. This is storytelling, but it begs the question whether this is filmmaking, because we're assuming that most of the film wasn't actually shot by Werner Herzog. I was about to say Herzog Werner. Anyway, so yeah, I have a review of it, and I actually think it is underrated. It's a very interesting experiment in shifting the boundaries of reality and fiction, which Herzog likes to do a lot. And you know what? I'd say if you want to watch a Herzog movie, don't start with this one, but do watch it. This is where we get to the must-watch movies on the list. Next, we have another one of the movies that people often say is Herzog's worst. My son, what have you done? That is the full title. You cannot say my son or what have you done as the title. That is the full title. My son, what have you done?
That's it. Razzle them. Dazzle them. Razzle dazzle them.
So in my son, what have you done? We have another Herzog theme explored, and that's his interest in lunacy, and it's an interesting film. It's an American film, one of his American films, and what I like about Herzog's American films, they seem to be like almost weird versions of like traditional mainstream American movies. It's like Herzog's take on an episode of Criminal Minds or something. Not exactly Criminal Minds, but like a serialized television show about crime solvers. And it makes for an interesting spectacle to see, and I would definitely recommend this. This is one of Herzog's weirdest, and one thing that Herzog does in this film, which I found kind of interesting, is that he has two eccentric actors, William Dafoe and Udo Kier, and he makes them play the same characters, and it kind of juxtaposes what they've been playing previously in their careers, and it's a great weird Herzog film, and I'll have to admit that I didn't like it as much as his other films at the first viewing, but this was also my second Herzog film, so I don't think I understood Herzog and what he, how do I put this? What his movies were like, I guess, or his auteur persona, or I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Well, anyways, I think this film deserves a revisit by me, and I think this film is a film if you've seen a bunch of Herzog movies, and the most similar film to this is Bad Lieutenant, which I really enjoyed, and it comes a little bit higher on this list.